7499, if you can please unmute.
Bob Kaczewski here. I'd like to speak on items 55, 56, and 100.
3 minutes, please proceed.
Item 56, Highland Software. Last night, a friend and I watched the 2004 film version of Manchurian Candidate, starring Denzel Washington and Meryl Streep. The atrocities in that version resulted from a business referred to as Manchurian Global, which operated in concert with elements of the United States government. I mention this because I continue to see this city using relationships with private businesses to subvert citizens' rights. We saw that with the red light cameras run by a private business back during the Sanders administration. Fortunately, that particular practice was stopped by Mayor Filner, but similar examples exist to this day. For years now, citizens had to go to the website at highlandcloud.com in order to access the agendas for this meeting. Since my recent comments on this, I do now see that the current city council agendas on the city clerk's website. So thank you to City Clerk Fuentes for fixing that. But all of the previous agendas and public comments continue to be provided only via highlandcloud.com. I'm not opposed to an outside business being hired to perform services for the city, but those services should not require citizens to interact with or do business with those outside businesses. Item 55, ACE Parking. As I mentioned in a previous comment, the ACE Parking business has had an unfortunate history of not accepting cash payments for parking in our city parking structure. Fortunately, Darnell from ACE Management has made provisions to accept cash, and I do thank him for that. But that provision needs to be specified in this contract to protect any citizen's rights to operate independently of any private financial institution or credit card business. I want to hear from this council whether that provision is in this item or not. Finally, it's an insult that you're limiting citizens to 1 minute per item when you spent most of this morning on your own PR photo opportunities. Shame on this council. Thank you.
1384.
Thank you. Ernie Casco, La Jolla senior resident,
Please let
concerning
me...
all the items.
Okay. Please proceed. You'll have 3 minutes.
Yeah, Ernie Casco, La Jolla senior resident pilot, concerning all the items in poor city council decisions, including Torrey Pines Gliderport. It is February 10th. Your leaseholder is currently blocking me out of the Gliderport, completely under threat of violence, forcing residents to sign an illegal contract to use Torrey Pines Gliderport. It is well documented. The complaint is on your desk, and it needs to stop today. Your leaseholder claims to be doing his job, that nobody complained or stopped them. When it's your job, Todd Gloria and Joe LaCava, to protect our constitutional recreational rights and freedoms. It's time to stop the war and control over Torrey Pines Gliderport cash cow purse. Your leaseholders' access pass and waiver conflicts with residents and free pilots' constitutional recreational rights and freedoms, fighting over employment, money, power, profit, and control of the Gliderport. This needs to end. I reported serious allegations directly to your office and San Diego Police, most recently to City Council Real Estate Assets Department. While under threat of violence, I have been paying your leaseholder that refuses to provide a copy of the access pass and waiver in question. The truth is also coming out at University Community Planning Group. Where are the police reports for the victims who have been damaged? Why haven't you taken action when you have a proven legal solution on your desk? It's time to stop the crime, revise the permanent reinstatement of the Torrey Pines Advisory Board, and implement the proposed San Diego recreational waiver as a proven solution that ends the dispute. I challenge City Council to come up with a better legal solution that's proven and ready to go. It's a win for City Council liability. It restores our recreational rights and freedoms for years to come. It's the best decision, Joe LaCava, that the City Council could make. Thank you.
I will, some of the items that were mentioned by the public during public comment on the consent items. One individual, questions that have been asked, they have been answered. I know you don't like those answers, but your recreational waiver that you've introduced over and over again has been thoroughly vetted and rejected by the city. I know you don't agree with that, but I feel like we have done our job.
7499.
Bob Kaczewski here. Every time I hear about budget issues, I am reminded that the Torrey Pines Gliderport business was documented as bringing in $1.4 million every year over a decade ago. That's how long ago that they were documented as bringing in $1.4 million. That was in, I think, 2010. And you can imagine with inflation, it's a lot more than that now. And that was on a free lease of our city land. Free lease. Now, the city turned around and decided to charge them some pittance. I think it's something like $3,000 a year now. But they're still bringing in that much money and probably more with no oversight. And yet Joe LaCava refuses to reactivate the free Torrey Pines City Park Advisory Board, which would help this city understand what's going on at that Gliderport and oversee the operations at that Gliderport. So what is Joe LaCava trying to hide in his district that he refuses to allow any citizen oversight through something like the Torrey Pines City Park Advisory Board? It's an obvious question, and I think a lot of people are starting to wonder about it. Thanks for your time.
1384, there you go.
Ernie Casco, Senior Resident Pilot at Torrey Pines Gliderport. Former Assistant Flight Director, Torrey Pines Gliderport complaint is on your desk. Allowing this crime to continue is a violation of your oath of office, an automatic forfeiture of your chair, Joe LaCava. We have a proven solution known as the San Diego Recreational Waiver that would end the dispute. This would effectively split the tandem school operation from public recreational free flight. The waiver would stop the illegal mandatory access pass and waiver in question. Your city leaseholder would pay for their own insurance that is required by law and pay their own oversight as needed for public safety. If you're retracting or rejecting the San Diego recreational waiver, it's time for transparency to stop the corruption within your own administration. I should not be forced to sign a waiver when city liabilities are already covered by California recreational laws. The proposed San Diego recreational waiver only serves as a second certificate ensuring city liabilities are not, or you're not liable, which includes pilot rating skills needed to fly safely, which is recognized globally. It's time to stop the crime by revising the permanent reinstatement of Torrey Pines Gliderport Advisory Board and implementation of the proposed San Diego recreational waiver as a proven solution that ends the dispute. I challenged City Council to come up with a better legal solution that secures city liability, restores recreational freedom, and addresses victims and witnesses who have been damaged and assaulted by within a timely fashion. It's a win for City Council liabilities, restores our recreational rights and freedoms for years to come. If you're going to want me to walk away, you should at least address the victim and witnesses who have been assaulted and damaged. Thank you.
1384, if you can please unmute. After that, Judy String and then Zoom user.
Hi, Ernie Casco, Senior La Jolla Resident Pilot, Torrey Pines Gliderport. Complaint is well documented. We have a proven solution known as San Diego Recreational Waiver that would end the dispute. If you're rejecting the San Diego Recreational Waiver, Joe LaCava, it's time for transparency to stop the corruption within your own administration. Your leaseholder is caught. It is illegal to turn our freedom into a privilege for a license and a fee under any terms, circumstances, or conditions. I should not be forced to sign a leaseholder waiver when your city liability is already covered by California recreational laws. The proposed San Diego recreational waiver only serves as a second certificate ensuring the city is not held liable, which includes a pilot rating skill needed to fly safely, which is recognized globally. The San Diego recreational waiver stops the city leaseholder internal corruption by revising the permanent reinstatement of this Torrey Pines Gliderport Advisory Board as a proven solution that is needed for oversight and public safety that ends the dispute. The San Diego recreational waiver secures city liabilities, restores recreational freedom, and addresses the victim and witnesses who have been damaged and assaulted within a timely fashion. It's a win for city liability, restores our recreational rights and freedoms for years to come, and then at least the decision that city council and you can make, Joe LaCava, if you want me to walk away while you blatantly rob America, city council is still liable and needs to address the victim and witnesses who have been damaged and assaulted. Thank you.
7499, my apologies.
Bob Krasuski here. During this morning's session, Mr. Casco again asked about the implementation of a waiver at the Torrey Pines Gliderport. And Joe LaCava replied something to the effect that the city rejected that waiver. Wow. When did that happen, Joe LaCava? Was there a city council meeting about the Gliderport waiver that I missed? And exactly who rejected that waiver, Joe LaCava? Did this council hold some kind of a backdoor meeting or communication in violation of the Brown Act? Is there a shadow government making these decisions behind our backs? Let the record show that the County of Los Angeles has been using a hang gliding waiver at Dockweiler State Beach since 2017. That will be a decade next year. In fact, both Mr. Casco and myself have flown under those Dockweiler waivers, and we've both written our proposed Torrey Pines waivers patterned exactly after that highly successful Dockweiler waiver. The Dockweiler waiver was approved by the Los Angeles County Legal Department back in 2017, and our proposed Torrey Pines waivers are almost word for word identical to it. But somehow Joe LaCava announces today that the proposed Torrey Pines waivers have been quote unquote rejected. How did that happen, Joe LaCava? Where is the record of this city council rejecting a Torrey Pines waiver? And which council members voted for or against that waiver, Joe LaCava? You, Joe LaCava, know the answers to those questions. You know that there is no record of such a rejection because it never happened. Instead, you, Joe LaCava, have just pocket vetoed that proposed waiver because it's not aligned with your own agenda to keep a private business in 100% control of our public city park. Are you the Manchurian candidate in San Diego, Joe LaCava?